start.
I have absolutely no clue what am I going to say, so it's on you.
On that note, let's start the Calypso confrontation because we have absolutely nothing to say in this day one second test review. As usual, we have some faces on the show which we'll get to, but we start, as always, with a stat. We start with the sumptuous one. I mean, all of our stats on cricket.com, to be fair, is sumptuous. Now get this, because it sums up pretty much a large part of the day. In tests outside Asia, this is the first time India's opening pair have forged back-to-back 100-run partnerships. Yes, you heard that right. So Rohit and Jaiswal, well done. Another 100-run stand, which went swimmingly well in the first session. A fun fact there is that fastest to 2,000 test runs is an opener for India. Rohit Sharma, 40 innings to get there. And Virendra Sehwag still holds the record at 39. On that note, let's swimmingly move on to introduce some new faces that we, of course, are bringing back to the studio. Akshay Kumar Swami, when was the last time you were here in the CDC studio? Do you remember that?
Probably the finals.
Probably the finals
Yeah.
of the World Cup.
What World Cup?
Of the IPL.
You mentally checked
I
out.
mentally checked out. I checked out. I mean, talk about burning midnight oil. We tend to do this because, like Gurkirat was mentioning backstage, we should have signed up for the preview shows and not the review shows. But here we are on 8 a.m. at Friday morning. Gurkirat, I want to hear you and I want to understand your rants because we're seeing it on Twitter. But you can tell your beloved fan following right now how diabolical this viewing of the West Indies test has been so far.
Well, this test match was at least better than the last one because I felt the pitch had a little more pace on it, which made stroke making easy when the lengths were there for batters to hit, and it also gave some purchase to the bowlers. You saw that there was a period in between where the West Indies bowlers were actually coming in and bending their backs. The ball that Gabriel got Rahane out on, it was bowled at 148, and then even Kemar Roach also started to amp it up. So this pitch definitely had a little more help for both the bowlers and the batters, I felt. But yeah, I mean, I did tweet about this today that probably MLC and the emerging Asia Cup is creating a lot more buzz than this test series. And
he said it. He's already stirring a morning run. In fact, I want Akshay to read out that WhatsApp he sent me, okay? Because look, Gurkirat's a really sweet guy. But look what he sent, the cheeky lad. And we love him because he does superbly well in the deep point shows. But we have to show that WhatsApp. Read it out for the benefit of the viewers. It's fun in games, Gurkirat. We're just pulling your foot at 3 past whatever it is. Go for it.
You might have to beep out a few words.
Not necessarily. We'll go on. Akshay?
भरी जवानी में तू मेरी रातें इंडिया वेस्ट इंडीज में बर्बाद करवा रहा है. भगवान कभी नहीं माफ करने वाला तुझे.
And that was to me, beloved me. Imagine Gurkirat and me being such tight friends. He spoke in his mind because 3 a.m. cricket viewing is not his cup of tea. In the meanwhile, Nix has just been patient and laughing. Nix, what do you do in terms of summing up today? Because we've seen 0 wickets lost in the first session, 0 wickets lost in the last session, and there was little to chirp about from a West Indian perspective. 4 for 61 in that second session. How would you sum up the day, sir?
So, proper artisanal cricket. The new ball, you expect some moisture. I don't think it was there as much as Brathwaite expected it to be. And we're also very delighted to see the way Rohit and Jaiswal started. I mean, the first ball itself that Jaiswal faced, there was intent. And Rohit was looking at this. There were a few pleasant misses which you will expect versus the new ball. So I think that period they saw off well. And then they scored at a very brisk rate before West Indies came back and that, okay, now we need to just stick to our lines, not try too much. Pretty similar to the way Australia and England started, where of course it was far more entertaining. But again, that knock also had a lot of edges that Zach Crawley went on to score. But you can't get everything on a platter. You have to go through this to get that. So I think West Indies will take those 4 wickets and India will take the composure that Virat and Jadeja showed. I think Jadeja's batting, once again, there were a lot of plays and misses for others, but Jadeja always met the middle of the bat. It just tells you how much he's grown as a batter and how much calming influence it has on you as a viewer, that he's in complete control of his game at this point in time. And of course, for Virat, we will talk about him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how West Indies really operate in that first session. They still haven't taken the second new ball, and I think Shannon Gabriel confessed that it was a tough day to toil out there. Lots more in the segments going forward, including for you viewers to win some merchandise in the final segment, which is Who Am I? And that's going to be a tasty quiz, I can promise you that. But more with the boys right now in terms of our first segment called The Experts Corner. Right, the Experts Corner, guys, basically some key talking points in day one from this game. We've spoken about it briefly, but I want to talk about the toss, right? Craig Brathwaite winning it, Akshay. Hot day, beautiful track. Should they have batted first in hindsight?
Yeah, the key word being there is in hindsight. I mean, yeah, you probably could also fault Brathwaite for, like, he did say he was expecting some moisture to be there, but there was practically nothing, and yeah, it seemed like a concrete surface, to be honest. It seemed very difficult, and it seemed very hard to understand where would the wickets come from. So yeah, probably in hindsight, to be honest, yeah, even in foresight, why would they choose to bowl first?
Yeah, I think at the toss, Craig Brathwaite mentioned that, look, Gabriel's back in the side. Gabriel, my football and cricket sometimes overlap. Gabriel's back in the side, and they were really itching for him to get a go, but of course it was a short spell that he burst on. I want to ask Nix a few points about Virat Kohli and his knock, but I just want to touch upon the frailties of Gill and, not to forget, Rahane again, Gurkirat. I mean, I know it's just one innings here and there, but then slowly but surely he'll start playing at the back of their head, right? Now Rahane back in the team as vice captain, Gill in a new position. What do you make of both of their innings today?
See, with Gill, I go back to the conversation that we had during the first test, where I said that even though the Indian management has decided to bat him at 3, I still feel that his ideal position could be at 5 because of his issues with the ball coming in. And today also, if you look at his dismissal and with the angle, it looked that he was, especially with the angle that Roach was coming into bowl at, he wasn't sure if the ball's going to leave him or come, or it will come in. And eventually it was the in swinger that got him, but it took the outside edge because he wasn't really sure. And as far as Ajinkya Rahane is concerned, with no disrespect to him, but I would have been surprised had he carried on his form from the WTC. Now that he's had 2 sort of underwhelming innings, and there will be again some chatter over his place, though I don't expect him to be going anywhere before the South Africa tour for sure. Maybe he'll score some runs, but yeah, it's now become a characteristic of his test match batting that he will have one good innings, and with nothing in between for at least 4 or 5 innings, and then a good innings again. So yeah, it's frustrating, it's disappointing, and yeah, there's a reason why, despite being so talented, his overall test career average is below 40, and he's not been able to score as many hundreds as you would have liked from him, only 1200. So yeah, I mean, all these things just combine to sort of showcase why there is so much of frustration with Ajinkya Rahane, the test match batter.
And it makes you think, because you just mentioned there, the next time he'd get a go in terms of the Indian colours, it'd be that South Africa test tour, which is still a far while away. So let's see how that story unfolds with him, and of course with Shreyas Iyer coming back, I'm guessing, in due course. All those things are critical in terms of the test team. One man who's of course stood out today, Virat Kohli, in his 500th international game, which we'll talk about in the Trending India segment next. But I want to just speak about his knock today and his preceding 50s that he's got. I mean, we so often associate Virat with flamboyance, but it's more the fortitude Virat Kohli we're seeing right now. Again, attritional cricket. I think he took, 20 balls to get off the mark today? Another 80 plus balls, 50. What is it about this Virat Kohli, and do you like it?
See, it's not always going to be rosy, right? When you have a career as long, you are going to have phases. And the good thing that you see with him is he's trying, and it is very, very visible in terms of how he's very adamant that this is how I'm going to play. But you did see a cut shot earlier. You did see a few backward punches, which is not something that you have seen in the past. So there is a definite effort. And with players as big as him, you are not going to see immediate changes in terms of very, very visible that, okay, oh, look, he's found a new shot. That's not something that he's going to do. He's not going to tinker with his base, but he's found a way to be in control. I think he has a fall shot percentage of only 3. and that speaks volumes because he's fed enough number of balls, and there has been grip in the pitch. There has been movement for Roach as well, and for Joseph and the others as well. So he's made it count in terms of being there in the moment, and then he's played some very good shots. So he's in control now. From the outside, it may look like it's a very limited kind of shot making, but that's what's required. He knows he doesn't have to score at a rate that is preconceived, that okay, this is the rate we want to go. So he's happy to bide time, and that's what India wants to do. Very keen to see if tomorrow, if we see few more shots. Now he's on 87, he gets to a ton, and then we get to see that okay, has is there something else also that he has in store for us? And that to me speaks volumes about how much hungry he is to keep scoring runs, because you can easily get into a shell, but he's not gone into that. So hopefully a lot more runs to come.
Yeah, and his conversion rate in tests is really good. We were just picking out the stats, 29th, 50, I think it was, and he has 28 tons. So if he converts this, then of course you can show that he's a class player. Sticking with Virat in the next segment, which is called What's Trending India. Now, obviously, going into the second test, there were lots of numbers flying around, one being the 100th test between India and West Indies, and we've spoken about that. We've done plenty of reels. You can check that out on our website and app. But we want to talk about Virat Kohli and his 500 games for India, right? Lots of T20s, lots of ODIs, lots of tests. But what I want to ask the boys, and tell me, essentially, in the comments below, the viewers watching this as well, what's your favourite Virat Kohli moment in an India jersey? It could be tests, ODIs or T20 internationals. Akshay, you go first, then Nix, and then Gurkirat, and then I'll have the last say.
You know, you sort of told me that you'd be asking me this question like a couple of hours ago.
And it's good I kept you prepared.
And I still haven't been able to sort of zero in on one single moment.
Fair, because there's so many.
Exactly. But off the top of my head, I'll just go to one of my earliest memories of Kohli, which was the 133, if I'm not wrong, at Hobart. In Hobart versus Sri Lanka. Malinga at his peak, chasing 320 in 40 overs to sort of stay in contention in that tournament. Yeah, that knock probably comes, would be somewhere at the top for me. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, brilliant memory is that for every Virat fan. Nix, what do you have for us?
I think it's very tough to beat Mohali and MCG both. I feel the control, there are some times when you just feel the vibe of a player. And just speaking about it gives me goosebumps, that because you know how you felt when that happened. So, and of course, as I said, the Hobart knock is there. The good 30 that he got in the 2011 final, that is also very crucial for a youngster to come in. Then you have the Champions Trophy final game. So he's played knocks under pressure. But I think Mohali MCG probably sit right up top. And of course, there are many test specials as well. The Edgbaston knock that he had. But purely on goosebumps vibes, I will go with Mohali and MCG.
Yeah, I second that, man. I have a different left field pick, which I'll tell you. But Gurkirat, I know Nix might have taken one of your options away, but I'm surely thinking you've thought of 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, so I was going to mention Mohali, but no point speaking a lot about it because it would be the same thing being repeated again. But yeah, Perth 123 versus Australia. I thought, yes, that series is where all of us speak about Pujara's 300s a lot, but I felt that in that series, that was the best knock of the series because it came on the most difficult pitch, and that was some knock. In fact, even the way he batted in Johannesburg that year in that test match where he had a 50 and then a 40 on that pitch. So yeah, a few of the great moments, and then I'll never forget his first international 100, Eden Gardens chasing 300 odd versus Sri Lanka. India were 2 down quite early, and then him and Gautam Gambhir had a partnership. So
yeah, some fantastic moments picked up by the boys. I just want to turn your mind back to 2013, I think it was. That series was remarkable generally by the way it stood. But Virat's hundreds, one in Jaipur, the 52 ball 100 that he got, which was madness. I think the record still stands today for an Indian batter in ODI history. And the second one was in that series in Nagpur where he got 115. It was in a chase where 351 was required. He got it of 66 deliveries. I was telling our producer Vikas, who's also a huge Virat fan, and he couldn't believe his eyes when we showed him the scorecard right now. So there's so many maddening moments in of Virat in an India shirt. It's quite crazy. So let us know in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed that little Trending India segment, because Virat has been trending for his 500th game. It is that final fun segment, Who Am I? I don't know why we play it, because it's 3:29 in the morning, maybe after that as well. But just for fun and giggles and to make Gurkirat cry a little bit more, let's get on with that segment. Right, so we have 3 Who Am I's, and obviously the bigger clues for the viewers, Nikhil, Gurkirat and Akshay, it's obviously India or West Indies test players I'm talking about right now. So here's your first one, boys, and I'm taking you back pretty much pre-2000. I think this bloke played, that's your large clue, but your main clues are this. I was the first opener to carry my bat in an ODI World Cup. I wore the shirt number 7 for my country, and I made my test debut on my 31st birthday. So basically, I'm a late bloomer, if there ever was. So any shouts? Have you peeped and checked my sheet?
I haven't peeped, but I remember having a conversation on batters who've carried
For some reason, I feel like saying Wavel Heights. For some reason, I don't know.
Okay, close shout, but no cigar yet again, Gurkirat. Nix? I'm sure, I know Nix knows it.
No, it will be a very poor guess, so I'll not take it. Couldn't be Warren or somebody else.
I do, but I don't. The thing is,
See, even if you get it right, I won't confirm it right now. So the viewers can
Fair.
still have their thing.
all right. I'll say Ridley Jacobs only because I remember having this conversation, later yesterday evening, where we were talking about batters who did carry their bat. I know that was the name that was discussed quite a bit, so I'll just stick to it. Let's
Okay,
see.
fair. I mean, they've made some good decisions. Gurkirat's got so cheesed off that he's left the quiz. Gurkirat, there are 2 more rounds, buddy. I know it's 3:45 in the morning, but come on. Have some care for us. Let's move on to the second clue. Just pulling his foot over there. This man. Now, he is someone that we want to, of course, talk about, because he has 11 siblings, as in he's one of 11 siblings, correction. Now, he's worked with a very famous guy called Avnish in the past. I don't know who that guy is, but basically he's worked with a guy called Avnish, and he holds a record no one has beaten tests yet. So who is this man? I think you guys could get this one. Remember, if you guys want to get merchandise, one in the comments below, like this one or the one that I'm wearing, the person who gets it in the comments first with all 3 right wins, and DM us on Twitter, we'll get in touch with you. The third one is an Indian, and this is it. And this one is a fun one for you guys to think about. He once hit a 124 meter 6 in the IPL, played for SRH in 2015, and he made his test debut against the West Indies. Now, that picture, I don't know who it is, Vikas or Shivu or Shashank. I think they all need slandering, because that's a massive clue by itself. But look, Gurkirat's got so pissed off that he's left. He's actually left. Guts that he has. But Nix, you want to get go at that one?
I don't know. Let's not go to the Praveens and the others that are there. And of course, people can check the thumbnails to solve all the Ridley Jacobs that they want.
That's good. That's good. Look, but guys, at the end of the day, we have to, of course, end the show. Quick prediction, India 288 for 4. How much will we declare on and win another test against the West Indies?
I mean, as someone who's covering the game, I'm hoping India, somehow blaze their way through to 500 odd by the end of, say, second session tomorrow. And then, ask West Indies to, just bat and let's see.
I mean, Nix, it's almost like the Undertaker streak in WrestleMania, right? We haven't lost a test to West Indies since 2002. It ain't happening in Trinidad as well, right?
You'll hope not, but long way to go there. I did actually get my last test prediction right, where they'll declare on something around 400 odd. So that's what they did. Hopefully they get to something around there, because it will be great to bat 2 sessions, and there is a lot of weather around, so you will want to have time, because the pitch is supposed to get slower, so it will not be easy to take wickets. So you get to 400, 420 odd, see where you are. I think they'll probably get bowled out by then, so it works out for everybody involved.
Okay, and we'll finish the show with a man who just disappeared and came back. Pretty much does that to different people as well. Dicky Milash, if you guys know the inner joke, you know the inner joke. Gurkirat, what's going to happen on day 2 really quickly? India to declare at 7:52 for 6. Kohli triple ton, surely, right?
I'm hoping that he gets a double at least. No, triple might be a stretch too far, and I think India will also like to bat quicker once they feel that they've played out the first session, because like Nikhil mentioned, the pitch is supposed to get slower. Weather might be an issue, so triple might be a little too far fetched. But let's hope that he gets to his double, because it's in West Indies where he got his first double century. So would be a nice thing if he gets one after a long
Yeah.
time.
And when he got it, it started on the same date. I think it probably started on 21st July, and this is 21st July. So yeah,
And he's playing
random
in,
things
of
that make
course,
sense.
random things make sense. Of course, if you want to go on in that regard, it's happening in Trinidad. Lara did do, of course, magical things on that ground. I know he didn't get the 400 on that ground, but Virat could. You never know. Gurkida, just a quick one from you. Why did you disappear from the quiz? Just be honest, because the viewers are bugging us in the live comments.
The battery went off, so I
Convenience.
I've dropped. Asked the
Convenience is
producer.
never
I've dropped
was.
a message in the private chat that let me connect the charger.
Okay, Vikas gives you the benefit of the doubt. On that note, thanks so much for watching, guys. Day one, of course, ending. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Till then, follow us on our social media platforms. Until the next time, so goodbye from us. Wrap proceedings.